What's up, everybody? Hopefully all of you are doing well. Today we're going to be making a seafood stock. This is how I've been making my seafood stock now for the past few years, and today I've decided to share it. So let's get into it. Okay, for the new subscribers, this is where you find the written recipes. Go to gdseasoning.com. The links will be in the description box below the video and pinned in the comments. All right, so we're going to start with our veggies. I am shaving off the outer layer of the carrots. Now, this recipe, I'm using double the recipe of what you're going to see, okay? So don't be scared by the amounts that I'm using. I'm just taking my vegetable peeler and just shaving off the outer layer of the carrots. That's a regular old vegetable peeler. A vegetable peeler has two blades, one at the top and one at the bottom, and it pivots. So make sure you're using both of the blades. We tend to just take one stroke, but use them both by going up and down. It gets the job done faster. Now I'm just gonna take off the ends of the carrots and cut them in half. At first I thought I was gonna cut them in threes, but since this is a stock, everything can be cut kind of large. You don't have to dice everything so small. As a matter of fact, leaving it whole or in big pieces like you're gonna see is actually more efficient. That was pretty much a half a stalk of celery, including the heart. The hearts are really good for recipes like this. And then I'm gonna also use a half a bunch of Italian parsley. We're gonna be using the stems and all. So you can cut that bunch in half or you could leave it whole, but nothing is going to waste here. Moving on to the green bell pepper, I'm just going to cut off the tops and the bottom and remove the stem from the top because you can use all of the bell pepper this way. It doesn't have to be cut very fancy. Just remove the flesh from the center, the ribs and the seeds, and just toss that. And then you can use the bell pepper. Now, some people will just cut the bell pepper in half and let it go because stocks are usually strained after they're cooked. So, but you know, technically I do this. You can leave the bell pepper, just cut it in half and let the seeds and the ribs fly in. That's why I love stocks. They're just not hard at all. Then I got myself 3 nice sized onions. I'm just going to cut the tops and bottoms off and then remove that outer skin and let them go. Half is usually good enough. Sometimes I may cut them in quarters. It's not a big deal. Then I also have garlic. I have the equivalent to 2 heads of garlic. My garlic was kind of loose, so I just decided to take the skins off. But usually you don't even have to remove the skins from the garlic. Just cut the whole head in half and throw it in. So here's the seafood that I'm using today. I'm using 4 pounds of codfish. And the reason why I'm using codfish is because it's a mild fish. It's wild caught, it's fresh. I just bought it the day before I filmed this video, and I love to use that in my seafood stocks. The other thing I like to buy are shrimp shells. You can buy shrimp shells. You can buy lobster shells. There's certain scraps, quote unquote, that you can purchase to put in recipes like this. That way you're using the parts that you would normally probably throw away. You can still get flavor from things like this. So that's 2 pounds of shells alone. The other way to get shells that you need is to buy whole shrimp that are in the shell, and then you do all the cleaning yourself, but hold on to your shells to make your stock. You won't regret it, trust me. So now everything is just going into my pot. I layered the fish and then the shells and then the bell pepper, onions, garlic, carrots, celery. I also put in a couple of tomatoes and then my bay leaves. What else is gonna go in? The parsley goes on top. And now we're gonna pour in the water. We're going to pour in 8 quarts of water. Remember I said this is double the recipe. So the recipe you're gonna see when you get to the written recipe is only for 4 quarts. I need 8 because I'm gonna have to make gumbo a couple of times this year. Actually 3 times, but we're not gonna talk about that. So I put in 8 quarts of water, and on the top of that went some shrimp bouillon. Shrimp bouillon helps to boost the flavor in your stock. I found this Knorr. It's made by Knorr. Knorr makes chicken stock, beef stocks, all kinds of stock. And when I found this one, it also helped me up my flavor boost on this stock, and I will never be without it. I bought like 4 containers of it. On top of that, I put some dried thyme, also some peppercorns, and some Grand Diamond all-purpose seasoning. All right, which you can find at gdseasoning.com. Both the all-purpose seasoning and the shrimp bouillon contain salt. There is no need to add additional salt to your stock at this point. Remember, this is a stock that you're going to use for other dishes. Don't oversalt it. Just give that a stir. And I'm also using a 24-quart pot to make this in. I wanted to give this stock plenty of room to boil and do its thing. All right, we're just going to put the lid on and let it come up to a boil over high heat. Since I was working with so much product, it took about 25 minutes to come up to a full boil, and then you're going to turn the heat down to low, put the top back on, and now you get to walk away from it. All right, so after 3 hours, this is what the stock looked like. This is not something you have to babysit. You can actually just leave it there, check on it from time to time. But after 3 hours, I was happy with it. I gave it a taste also at the halfway point. So an hour and a half in, I gave it a taste to see if it was moderately seasoned with salt. Remember what I put in there, I told you don't add any more because you're going to add it to other dishes that you're going to salt. So as long as it's on the moderately seasoned side as far as salt, just leave it, because you'll always have a chance to add more later when you actually cook your dishes that you're going to use it for. Now it is time to strain it. So I just started very slowly, a little bit at a time, pouring the vegetables into a strainer over a bowl that is in an ice bath. You're going to have to cool this down, especially if you're not using it the same day. It needs to be cooled down so that you can start to portion it out and freeze it or refrigerate it for future use. The large bowl that I'm using is sitting in an ice bath. So the water in the sink is about halfway up the sides of the bowl and it's filled with ice. Some of the ice in there is already melted when I started the process. So I just added some more ice and started to stir the stock. What I'm trying to do here is bring the stock down to a temperature of 70 degrees. All right, so you keep stirring and you see all that steam coming off of the stock. That is helping us to cool it down rapidly so that we can put it in the refrigerator. All right, so this takes maybe 20-30 minutes depending on how much you have in there and how fast everything is moving for you. But what you don't want to do is let your stocks, soups, stews just sit out for hours and hours, because what you do is you start to allow bacteria to form, and we're racing it through what we call the danger zone. So that's the purpose of properly cooling your foods at home. In the restaurants, they have blast chillers, they have ice wands, they have different things to use. But what I'm showing you here is a more accessible way to practice good food safety at home. So now that my stock is below 70 degrees, I am just measuring out 2 quarts for each bag. These are gallon size freezer safe bags that I love to use. I don't even buy regular Ziploc bags. I buy all freezer types of bags because the plastic is thicker. And so you write the name, date, and the amount that's in the bag. I have gotten lost so many times by not putting the amount that I'm putting in each of those bags, and you forget. So always put the measured amount that you're putting in there so you'll know how much to pull out when you're ready to make your recipes. And by all means, because my mother watches my videos, use your freezer safe Tupperware or your plastic containers that are freezer safe, and you can pop a label on those also if you have the freezer space for it. So I have 2 quarts in each bag, and I'm just going to gently get the air out of it, fold it over, and then zip it up. This is kind of where I zone out. This kind of stuff is like therapy almost for me. Probably won't be therapy for you. I don't know. But that's what I do. So I'm just going to continue that for all of my stock, and I'm going to get it prepared for the freezer. Now I have a deep freezer in my garage, so I'm going to allow these to freeze flat, because once they're frozen flat, they actually take up less storage space, and I'll show you what that looks like. We also ended up with 9 quarts of stock. We started with 8, but we ended up with 9. Leaving the lid on the pot during the cooking process slows the evaporation process down tremendously. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my step-by-step process of how I make my seafood stock. Thank you so much for joining me. You know I appreciate it when you come cook with me and hang out. Don't forget, this recipe and others can be found at gdseasoning.com, and I'll see you next time.